I am so pleased to know that people have got so many questions. That means they are really reflecting over the different situations of life, and also they are looking at their mind and they have a questions. So let us start with the question answer session. Let us first pray to the Lord. We all with this Guru mantra. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Harihi Om. Yes, we can start now our question answer session. So, can you please ask me the question? Whosoever has sent me a question, they can put their video on if required, or if you like it, or you can read your question or ask me with your audio open. First person.
Hari Om Swamiji.
Hari Om. Who is this?
Swamiji, it's me, Mamta.
Mamta, yes.
Swamiji, my question is that sometimes when I do meditation, it gets very emotional sometimes. That after doing meditation, I get really happy sometimes or get very sad sometimes. It takes me back to my past experiences sometimes. And after that, I get many weird questions like who I am, what is my life path, and what I'm here up for. And these type of questions I get. So what should I do?
Wow, Mamta, I will first congratulate you that you are on right path. Very good. And I'm surprised that you have, so quickly has come to this level, because see, when someone starts meditating, okay, this is like churning. Okay, so if you churn anything, all what comes out first that is called as dirt. So please note that when sometimes you become sad, or sometimes you have a weird question in your mind after your meditation, that means it's good. Got it?
Yes, Swamiji.
Yes. Now, see, this meditation path is a slow path. Why I'm saying it a slow path? Because as you are a young person and you do not get a good sufficient time to meditate, so you are meditating for short time, and some days you may not meditate, right?
Right, Swamiji.
Yes. So because of this, what happens? The meditation, that's called as the height of meditation, the improvement in the meditation happens very slow. But it happens. Okay. So therefore, do not worry about if such weird questions come to you or some very negative thoughts come to you. Don't worry about it. You continue with your meditation. And the thought which comes to you, like, who am I, is the best thought. Please recognize this is the best thought. And I'm surprised and I'm very happy that very soon, means in a few days and months, when you started meditating after you have a meditation class, you are getting this very subtle question. That means your improvement is very good. So therefore, just keep it in touch and keep following what you are doing. You will grow in coming days or in future. Is it okay?
Thank you, Swamiji. Yes, Swamiji.
Good. Next question, please.
Hari Om Swamiji.
Yes, Hari Om. Who is this?
My name is Ria, and my question is
Arya, yes, tell
uh,
me.
that time management plays a very important role in our life, and sometimes we are not able to manage our time. Although we make plans and goals for the day, but the execution part is very difficult. So please give some tips.
Oh, good question. See, time management is an art. Please note, time management is an art. So, I'll give one, example. Like when we go for examination and a question paper is in front of us and we have only 3 hours to solve the questions. So what do? So we first tick mark those questions which are absolutely clear in our mind and we can solve very correctly. So these are called as most important question from our standpoint because we know them very correctly. So we solve them in one stipulated time. Okay, and we can do it because we are prepared for it. Now those question about these question, we are not very sure. We have to think. Okay, now this question will take some more time, no doubt, because we are not sure. We have to think about them and then reproduce the answer. Though it is fine. Though there are some questions we have to really struggle hard. So then you have to give some more time for those questions. Similarly, in our day-to-day life, one must understand very important things which we are sure about. We must keep it as a priority in our life or in a day duration and focus totally on that. This focus is the most important aspect. When the mind is focused, it does not get disturbed by different so-called as temptations or the different sort of disturbances which are around us. Why? Because it is focused. Because it is focused. So this focus is the main important aspect in reducing the disturbance, rather reducing the time which we actually waste and bringing it to the one pointedness. Okay. Second important point is if you have an interest in doing something, please note it. If you have a so-called as interest in doing something, like let me just give an example. Like if you play a basketball or a football or a cricket, whatever game, see, always there are people called as audience and they keep, shouting also. But as a player, you, if are very focused, then those disturbances do not matter at all. And you utilize the time very correctly. Why it is happening? Because you are too much interested in your own action. So, my dear, this is the important aspect of reducing the wastage of time and utilizing your time to the best of your capacity. So, I gave you two important tips. Please follow it and you will improve in your time management. Is it
Thank
okay?
you, Swamiji.
Next question, please. Who is the person who will ask the question?
Swamiji, I have one more question.
Yes.
Swamiji, what is the connection between tap and meditation? I've listened so many people talking about tap as well as meditation at the same time. So, what is the
Okay.
connection? between these two?
Your questions are very good and I really feel happy. Only by listening also to your questions. So good.
Thank
See,
you, Swamiji.
tap and meditation, from one standpoint, it is one and the same. Why? Because in meditation, what are you doing? You are concentrating your mind to one pointed attention, right? This is a goal in meditation. Your mind should be totally concentrated and focused on one. Okay, and tap is also the same. I'll give an example of a tap. Like if there is a lot of impurity in a water, so what we do, we put the water in a vessel, and that vessel we keep it on a stove or a gas, and we put the fire. So what happens? The fire, makes the water boil. So water, when it boils, all the impurities get completely destroyed and water becomes pure. Similarly, in case of meditation, when your mind is one pointed to the great extent, all the impurities of the mind burn away and get removed as that of the boiling water. Therefore, the tap and meditation considered to be one and same. Okay?
Yes, Swamiji. Thank you, Swamiji.
Yes. Next question, please.
Hariom, Swamiji.
Yes, Hariom.
Actually, my one question is that how to stop the anger?
How to?
Stop the anger. Anger means gussa.
How to reduce, right?
Yeah, how to reduce the stress also and anger also.
Okay. How to reduce the stress as well as anger in our own life or in the mind.
In our own life.
Okay. So, now there are two important aspects in this question. First is called as the anxiety, right?
Yeah.
And the second is called as anger. So one has to understand what is the cause of both. These both are the effect. Understood? What is the cause? So when we say, I have a too much of anxious nature, that means we must find out first that what is the cause of it. So the cause of all anxious nature, the basic cause, whenever you have a fear about anything, then you become too much anxious about whatever which is there in life. Got it? A fear about something. And if you understand that, if you find out the cause of the fear, then very subtle point is attachment. What is that? Attachment. Let me give an example. Like if you play a sport and if you're too attached to only to win the sport and nothing else, then what happens? You become so scared of what? Of the failure in the game. Hope you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, we become so scared that I cannot accept the failure, and that becomes a so-called as a cause for our anxious nature. Got it?
Got it.
So therefore, in this example, if you start with the sportsman spirit, that today I have to express myself in my game totally to the best of my capacity, and I would accept the result whatever comes to me, then Jaya, I will assure you that your anxiousness will reduce to the minimum level. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. So this is the first aspect. Please reflect over it. You will be doing much better in every aspect of your life. Now, let us go to the anger factor. And this anger is not only your difficulty, but it is the difficulty of today's all youngsters. And why only youngsters? To the all age groups.
Yes.
I am so happy that you have registered that this anger is something which is a disturbing as well as a negative part of the personality. Okay, what is the cause of the anger? So, unfulfilled desire is a cause of the anger. Jaya?
Yes, I agree. Yes, I agree.
Unfulfilled desire is the cause of the anger. Now, this one has to be very clear about. When we all have some desire and that desire does not get fulfilled to the expectation of our, then we become very angry. So one has to be very clear about it. Now, that to have the desire is fine. Okay, to have a desire is fine. But please note it. Let us not be very insisting on the result of our action. What I said? Let us not be very insisting on the result of our action. If you can develop this quality to not to insist on your result of action. Why? Now, note, this is an important aspect of life. Bhagavan Krishna ji in Bhagavad Gita tells to Arjuna, and which is a very popular shloka of Bhagavad Gita, Karmanne Vadika Raste Ma Phaleshu Kadachar. What does it mean? Oh Arjuna, your right is completely in your action. But, oh my dear, your right is not in the result of action. Now, if you ask the question, why? Because your result of action does not depend only on your own action, because your own action is supported by thousands of other actions all around you by the people. Example, simple example. See, if a water tap in your house is giving you a water supply and uninterruptedly, okay? So can you imagine that when you start the tap or when you open the tap and water comes, is it only because of your own effort that you are paying your charges as a water bill, or it is because hundreds of people are working to bring the water to my doorstep? Think about it. Jaya?
Yes.
That means whenever I do the action, with my action, there are hundreds of people, those who are unknowingly, please note, unknowingly involved in my action.
Yes.
Got it?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Therefore, let us have this wise understanding that do our action to the best of our capacity. Like Pujya Gurudev used to say, do your best and leave the rest. Please note down this principle. Do your best and leave the rest. If you can uphold this principle, I will assure you, you will have no problem about anger in your whole life. Got it?
Yes. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Let us slowly understand, reflect over it, and try to follow and get the result out of this principle. Okay?
Yes. Thank you.
Next question, please.
Yeah.
Hari Om Swamiji.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Neetu?
My name is Neetu.
Yes, Neetu?
Sir, I just want to know, according to Gita, like if you have been betrayed by your blood relations, is
Okay.
it fine to move away from them
Okay. A very delicate
or
question.
not? A delicate question, like if you are betrayed by your parents, then what? Is it fine
Yeah.
to move away?
Yes, I would definitely answer this question. Neetu, see, first one has to understand that what I am thinking is right or wrong. Because sometimes our thinking also may go wrong. Yes or no? Neetu?
Uh, how to judge that?
Yeah. So therefore, you must able to connect, or you should able to take a support of some senior well-wisher of yours. Got it? One who
But
is your well-wisher.
Swamiji, but I think that nobody can enter your shoe.
Yeah, I understand. I'll tell you one important aspect, an example. See, Arjuna was thinking that I cannot do this war. And he put lot of good logical questions in front of the Lord Krishna. Very logical. Please understand. But at that moment, he missed a very subtle and a basic principle of life, which he could not understand. I'm just making you aware of it. Huh? That first, let us be very clear that what I am thinking is right, or am I also biased from some standpoint? Please note it, because I do not know the situation, and therefore I am making it more clear and more so-called as more understandable for everyone. If I know the situation correctly, then I may tell you this is yes, fact or not. And
Sir,
therefore, I am giving you a
Swamiji,
support.
debating is better or moving out of that situation is better? Because
Yeah.
debating can spoil your time, energy, and your, I mean,
Yes. So now
your balance of mind and the balance of mind of others.
I got it. So I first clear first aspect of it. Now, second, if it is sure that somebody has done a wrong to you, now, next important point, are you independent? First point is this. Are you independent? Can you live independently without taking the support of your near and dear? This is the first important aspect. If you have that capacity, then without spreading any negativity, without harming anyone, harming means not physically, without creating any negativity on that mental level around all of us or around our dear and near, we should go away from the situation for some time. Look at the situation from the third person's angle. If the situation improves and people become better, then you can come back, or you can be otherwise very independent. That is also true. Neetu, am I
Yes,
answered your
yes,
question?
Swamiji, to some extent, like I have got the idea.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
So,
doing
what
right
is
now.
my point? That one must not create negativity in our own mind, because, see, Nitu, by doing our action, whatever action, if we bring the negativity to our mind, think that are we successful or are we failure in life? So,
Yeah, that will harm me and
yes. So, therefore,
people around me.
yes, therefore, need to understand, therefore, people, how they react or how they do their action, it is not in our hand. Yes or no?
Yes, Swamiji.
Yes, but our action and our attitude of our whatever action is in our hand. So therefore, let us focus on our action as well as our attitude, and let our mind not to be negative about anything or about any person, because it is our journey and it is our life which we can make it like a fragrant flower, and which is possible.
Right, Swamiji, I got the answer.
Great.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Hari Om. Any next question? Karthik?
Okay, Anish is not able to ask the question, so I'll ask his questions. He had two questions. So first question is related to the topic we discussed. He says that I understand that everyone has a different tendency and personality, but depending on situation, it can help you or it can rather be harmful. So I realized more than qualities, it is about the situation. Am I correct in my conclusion? If yes, how can I better manage it?
Okay, the question is quite
Quite similar.
The first, what I understand, that situation is there, and sometimes we react to the situation as per our quality, or sometimes we understand the situation takes all over us, right, Karthik? Sometimes it is helpful that, you know, your tendency can solve the situation, or your tendency cannot solve the situation. Both way it is true. This
Right,
is what is the
Swamiji.
question?
Yes, yes. And how to better manage it, right?
Okay. So let me give this first example. Like this tortoise and a rabbit race. Tortoise and rabbit race. Now everyone knows the story, that the rabbit is very fast, tuck, 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 zing. And the tortoise is very slow. Now see, the tendency of tortoise is slow but steady. And tendency of the rabbit is fast and maybe very fickle. Right? Rabbit is considered as a fickle animal, like, you know, it gets distracted very easily. Yeah. So what happens in this situation? When the race is there, the rabbit goes ahead, no doubt, because of its quality and tendency also. But when it goes ahead, it loses its concentration, it loses its target, it loses its goal in his mind. But this tortoise, which is slowly going towards one's own goal, without distraction, without anxiety, without letting the goal go away from the mind, it moves ahead, and therefore it reaches correctly to its goal, target, before than the rabbit. So my direct answer would be, let your tendency be very clear, and even if it is slow, but it should be steady. When somebody's tendency is fickle, and that which is called as weak and can get disturbed very easily, then that time the situation can be very difficult and turn into a problem. Therefore, it is wise that let we be slow, steady, with a firm goal in the mind, because these qualities are important. What are the qualities? We must have a firmness in our mind, which is called as determination. Then our approach towards our goal should be slow and steady. And next important point, you should have a patience, enough patience to move towards your goal and to achieve your target. Then your own tendencies can definitely help you to solve the situation and not turn them into a problem. Okay, I hope I have answered this question to the best of my capacity. So, Karthik, I would request that, if there are more questions, I take one last question. And if there are more questions, we can have a next session too. What do you think?
Yes, Swamiji, that would be the right
So I
thing.
take one
We will
last
take one
question
more
of the
question.
Ria. Ria, you can ask me the question. And this is the
Swamiji,
question.
my question is as we are always taught to speak truth, and truth can sometimes be hurtful also. So, if we want to speak truth to a person, so what should be the way to deliver the truth in the way that the other person not get harmed?
Yes, good question. See, one must able to speak the truth. But as per our scriptures, if some truth is really harmful or really very, very detrimental to one's own life or somebody's life, then you can delay in, giving that truth to that person, or you first prepare that person so that person gets this capacity to accept that truth with a good capacity and does not get shattered away. So I told you two important things. One, if it is too detrimental, too harmful for any person to accept the truth, you may delay it to, the extent it is possible. Or in other way, you, with your capacity, first prepare that person's mind to accept the reality, and then you can tell the truth with a right understanding. That way, it can be helpful for the other person. Hope I am
Thank
clear
you.
about it.
Yes, Swamiji.
Yes. So with this, today we conclude our Q&A session of this time, and then Karthik will let you know about the next session. So whatever remaining questions, we will conclude in our next Q&A session of E2E program. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Harihi Om.